Here are a few sewing tools you might need handy before starting your sewing project. A sewing gauge, measuring tape, seam ripper, scissors, large tweezer, fabric pencil or a marker, and clothing pins. In your sewing kit, you should have pre-cut fabric pieces of 2 backs, 2 fronts, 2 pockets, 2 pocket lining, 1 waistband casing, and 1 elastic band trim. You're going to want to serge the edges of all the fabric pieces before sewing your project. This will prevent from your fabric edge fraying, and it gives it a cleaner look after your project is sewn together. If you don't have a serger, no problem. I have a short video on how to finish the edges using a regular sewing machine. You can find a video link below. Starting with the 2 front pieces, you'll know that this is a front piece because it has a long center front curve and a small curve for the pocket. Match the long center front curves together with the right side facing each other and pin it together to sew. Sew the center front curves together with 1/2 inch seam allowance. And don't forget to backstitch at the beginning and at the end of your sewing. I'm going to press open my seam allowance, but before I do that, I'm going to loosen up some of that tension around the curve. I'm going to give it a little snip around the curve about 1.5 inches apart with 3 little snips to ease that tension around that curve. Now I'm ready to press the seam open, and I'm going to press it around the edges first. And when I get to the curved area, I'm going to use a tailor's hem. Tailor's hem makes it easier to press on curves such as necklines and armholes. If you need to purchase one, I added the link to my description below. Grab the pocket lining and match the pocket lining curve on top of the short front, facing right sides together. And pin around the curves together for sewing. Repeat this step on the other side of the pocket. Sew both pocket linings with 3/8 seam allowance, and don't forget to backstitch. Now we're going to edge stitch the pocket lining. Open the pocket lining with the right side of the fabric facing up. Now I'm going to sew right next to the seam that I just sewed. Make sure that the seam on the bottom is facing out on the right underneath the pocket lining. Sometimes you'll find it difficult to backstitch when you're sewing near the edge and it starts bunching up. You can skip the backstitch and just tie the ends together at the end. Let's repeat the same steps to the other side of pocket lining. Fold both pocket linings inside of the front shorts, which is the wrong side of the fabric, and give it a nice press. Now grab both pocket fabric pieces and we're going to match the round curve of the pocket onto the pocket lining. Match the right side of the fabric facing together and pin for sewing. Once you're done pinning, make sure that the pins are only pinned onto the pocket and the pocket lining. Okay, again, before we start sewing, let's make sure that our pocket and the pocket linings are pinned together and not into our shorts. Sew the pocket and the pocket lining with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Repeat the same steps for the other side of the pocket and the pocket lining. Once the pocket and the pocket lining are sewn together, flip the shorts over to the right side. You can see that there are loose layers of fabric at the top and on the side. We're going to grab the top layers of the fabric and pin them together. And then grab the sides together and pin them together. Repeat the same steps on the other side. Base stitch the top layers and the side layers to hold them in place. Next, grab the 2 pieces of the back shorts and match the center back curves together with the right side facing each other, and pin along the curve for sewing. Sew center back with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Cut 3 snips around the curve, about 1.5 inches apart to give ease around the curve, and then press open the seam allowance. Place the back of the shorts with the right side facing up, and place the front of the shorts with the right side facing down, facing the back of the shorts. Match the sides together and pin the front and the back sides together. When I pin the sides together, I like to start at the top and then at the bottom. This will ensure me that the sides will match evenly. Once the top and the bottom matches without puckering in the center, then you can pin the rest of the sides together. Repeat the same step on the other side. After both side seams are pinned together, now we're going to pin the crotch area. Grab the top and the bottom layer together. Match the center side seams together and pin at the center. Then pin the outer edges. Sew both sides and crotch with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now we're ready to turn our shorts right side out. Grab your measuring tape and measure the top of the waist. My shorts measurement at the waist is at 16.5. Grab your waistband casing and fold it in half. Measure it out to 16.5 and add an extra 1/2 inch for seam allowance. So my total waistband casing measures at 17 inches. Mark it and cut off the extra amount of fabric. Fold the waistband casing in half with the right side facing each other. Sew the edges together with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And on the other end of the waistband casing, mark it with a pencil or chalk. This will be your center front of the waistband casing. Next, grab the elastic trim, fold it in half, and sew the ends with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Grab the waistband casing, open up the seams, and place the elastic trim in the waistband casing. Fold the casing in half. So it looks like this. You'll be sandwiching the elastic trim inside the waistband casing. Fold it and pin the center back seams together. Continue to pin the waistband casing all around with the elastic trim inside. Make sure you don't pin the elastic trim onto the waistband casing. The elastic trim needs to be able to slide side to side, and it should be a separate piece that is in the casing and not attached to the casing. And now we're going to sew the waistband casing closed with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Again, make sure you're not sewing on the elastic, you're only sewing the casing together. The elastic needs to be able to slide, move around inside the casing back and forth. Now place the waistband over the top of the shorts and start pinning them together. Starting with the center back, match the center back waist trim to the center back shorts. Next, match the center front waist to the center front shorts and pin. Then pin the rest of the waistband to the shorts. Sew the waistband and the shorts together with a 3/8 to 1/2 inch seam allowance. Again, make sure you're not sewing over the elastic trim. You're only sewing the waistband casing and the shorts together. The waistband casing is sewn into the shorts, and now it should look like this. You should be able to pull on the shorts, stretch it out, and the elastic inside should be able to move freely inside the casing. And now for the hem, we're going to do a easy fold hem. Open all the seams at the bottom opening and fold inside with a 1-inch fold. You can grab your sewing gauge to measure the 1 inch so that you can have a consistent fold all around the leg openings. Pin all the folds down to make it easier to sew. And now I'm ready to sew the top edge of my fold. I'm going to line it up with the presser foot. The left side of the presser foot should line up to the edge of the fabric where I'm going to sew. Continue to sew all around the hem and repeat this process to the other side. I'm done hemming the shorts, and this is how it should look like. Easy fold hem. I hope you enjoyed watching this video tutorial. The sewing kits are available at KS School of Design. Feel free to leave me comments or any questions you have regarding the sewing project.